Hi guys, today we're doing a corn and mushroom pie and I'm trying to make the editing quick. So I'm just softening off a large onion. If you don't have a large one, then 2 small ones. If you're cooking this straight off and not doing it the night before like I am, what I want you to do now is put your oven on, start preheating it, and if you've got an electric, it's going to be preheated to 170 degrees, whatever that is in other oven currencies. You'll have to Google because I don't know. Whilst that's softening off, what I want you to do as well is to wash and chop 400 grams of mushrooms. So I'm just going to put mine in now. Okay. Whilst these are softening and just mixing a little bit with the onion juice, what I'd like you to do is chop or peel and chop 1 large carrot. If you don't have a large carrot, you're going to use kind of like, it depends how small they are, but when I'm talking large carrot, I mean like off the scale, like that big kind of thing, you know, the massive ones. If you don't have a massive one, what you're going to do is going to need about 2 to 3 of the very small ones, so just use your judgment. Okay. So I'm just going to pause while that cooks down. See, I'm talking so quickly I can't go with it. Right, once the juices have started to come off the mushrooms and they've kind of like softened off, then you're going to add your quorn. If at any point when you're frying your mushrooms and they start to go, that it's like the frying pan is too dry, just add a teeny bit of water straight from the cold water tap. You don't need to add any more oil, just a little bit of water will kind of like lubricate them. So now we're going to add in our quorn pieces straight from the freezer, and we're using the whole packet, which is 500 grams. You can use vegan pieces. I've used those before and I honestly can't tell the difference. Okay, and then you're just going to cook those until they're kind of defrosted. Basically, you're just going to defrost them with the mushrooms and the onion mixture. Okay. Right, so the quorn pieces are sort of defrosted and they're starting to cook a bit now. So what we're going to do now is, I think I found a tablespoon, and we're going to add a flat tablespoon, flat tablespoon of, that's not very flat, is it? It's because I don't normally use them. A flat-ish tablespoon of flour. All we're doing is we're just coating, trying to coat the corn. So we're going to start off with that flat tablespoon. We just want all the corn to be coated basically, and that looks like it's going to be enough. And then we'll just kind of like, I was going to say burn it. We'll just we won't burn the flour to the corn, we'll just mix it in. So I just want you to see me, do that. So yeah, it's nicely sort of sticky. That's it. And there's no white pieces of flour left. I'm happy with that, so that's about right. And then we're going to throw in, quite literally throw in 2 vegetable stock cubes. Okay, we're not going to worry about dissolving them previously or anything like that. We're literally going to chuck them in. They're going to go in that, and straight away we're going to put in 200 milliliters of water. There we go. Give it a stir. just so nothing sticks to the pan. Okay, so now we're going to add in, this can is, it says it's, I know that you can't see that, I don't think you can see that, it's 198 grams of like net weight, like everything, and we're just going to pour the whole thing in, juice and all. So now we're basically just whacking in a load of extras just to pad out the filling. Right, so now that carrot that we prepared, we're going to put that straight in. So this is the end of the process now. So how I made that other video that was nearly an hour long I have no idea, because this has taken, like, in real time it must have taken about 8 minutes so far, probably not even that. I walked down to the bin, you see. So now what we're going to do is we've got 200 millilitres of milk, any milk will do. That's going to go in. We're going to give it a stir, and it's bubbling nicely. I've got the heat on kind of like medium basically, and it's been on medium all the way through. I don't know if I should have said that. So we'll just give it a stir. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cook, because I kind of want the carrots to be a little teeny bit soft. Not like soft, but I just want it to cook a teeny bit before it goes in the oven at whatever stage you're putting it in the oven. So I'm just going to let this cook for about, I reckon, a minute that you don't need to see. Right, so that's been bubbling away for a few minutes actually, probably about 2-3, because I was just tidying up, doing the dishes, as you can tell from my very hot hands. Right, so now we're going to put in 200 grams of cheese. I'm using cheap cheap cheese. I'm using cheap cheddar cheese. You can grate it if you want, but I don't really see the point. Might make it melt a bit quicker, but it's going to melt anyway. It's only going to spend the amount of time that you spend grating it. You could have just put it in and cooked it. Anyway, right, so then you're just going to, you're going to need to, this is like the constant bit. This is the bit where you're going to need to stir it till it's all melted in, and that will take a couple of minutes. Okay, so maybe jury's out on the grating. It might not take a couple of minutes. I'm going to stop talking now and pause the recording. Right, so all the cheese is melted, and that's the filling done. Right, so as soon as the cheese had melted in the frying pan, in that mixture in the frying pan, all I've done is pour it straight into a casserole dish. The casserole dish that I'm using is almost 11.5 inches in length by about 9 inches across, and this will serve 6 people. You have one cut there, one cut here, and another cut about there. It is freezable, so if there's only a few of you and you're using a smaller pie dish, then obviously you've got another pie there. Just wait for it to cool down, the bit that you're not using. Wait for it to cool down, put it in a freezer bag, put it in the freezer. How genius. And then when you come to use it, just defrost it still in the freezer bag. Generally you'll need like a bowl as well, to catch that sort of frost, that melting frost or whatever it is. Mine always seem to ooze liquid, but anyway, yeah, just defrost it and then just put it in your pie dish again, and then you need to put a lid on, and that's what we need to do now. Do you know, I cannot help speaking, I always have to say too much, but anyway, so we're going to put our lid on now. Right, so for me it's tea time of the next day, and I am no longer in my PJs. For you might be doing it all in one go, and you'll have preheated your oven to 170 already, and you will have about 10 minutes before you're ready to start cooking. You'll have taken out your puff pastry sheet. So this is 375 grams of puff pastry, and we're going to use the whole thing. All you need to do is unroll it, which I have actually done in advance, and we just place it on top of there. So we just get it out a little bit before, not too long before, just so it doesn't crack when we try to unroll it, and we don't want to do it too in advance because it goes all like gooey and sticks to the paper sheet. Right, so that's done. Now you can use a beaten egg to glaze your pie, but I've always used milk because it's cheaper, I think. And you can pour your milk into a little bowl or a cup or something, but I've always just poured mine straight on. Sometimes I pour too much on, and if you do end up pouring too much on, just poke a hole in your pie and let the milk go through, which is what I've also done plenty of times. So we're just going to try to get the milk all over. So this is where it will go wrong, and I will put too much on, but we'll see. So yeah, so this is just so that our pastry doesn't look anemic when we get it out. It will just look a bit glazed, a bit nicer. Right, so that's done. Kind of like happy with that. So now that's going to go into our oven, and I'm going to set the timer for about 25 minutes, but it can take somewhere between 25 minutes and 35 minutes, and that's generally whether or not I've preheated my oven or not enough, but on the whole I would say 30 minutes is probably about right. Right, so we're just going to pop that in, and then we'll see what the pie looks like when we've finished. Right, so the pie has just come out of the oven. It's like burning hot, and I'm just going to put it in the plate. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off. That looks fabulous. So there we go. That is one great pie. Enjoy. Oh, can you see? Sorry, you couldn't see it, could you? So much for my big reveal. There we go. Enjoy. You can see the saucepan in the background for our baked beans. You can serve it with like absolutely anything. Green beans, broccoli is what we normally have. We do baked beans with it, and it is just delicious. Can't tell you, it smells amazing. And it tastes good cold too. Alright then, see you later. Enjoy it.